Everyone, here we are in the basement. We've got a problem with a Fisher and Paykel Eco Smart Washer. I'm showing you the control panel, and I'll show you the inside. It may be hard to see, but there's water in there. It won't drain. When I do wash, it seems to work okay. It gets to the rinse cycle, and a little bit of water comes out of the drain, and a little bit of water comes out of the recirculation tube up here near the top. But it doesn't really drain that well, and it gets stuck there. I'll show you what it actually does here. I'm going to go to the control panel and turn it on. I'm going to tell it to start in a rinse cycle. And let's see, one more. Let's see what it does. You can see that's the rinse cycle. Let's open her up. You can hear it working. You can see a little bit of water coming out of the circulation tube. And we can see a trickle of water. We've drained it into a sink in our basement, coming out of the drain tube. So what we're going to do, we're going to stop this. We can get into focus here. Turn the power off. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to investigate a little bit. I've read a little bit online, so I already have a few ideas about what's wrong. And we also had an incident recently where my wife had washed, well, somebody had washed something that was a little too big for the machine, a big old comforter from our bed. And you can see it kind of did some damage to the rim here, the plastic. I don't know how it did it or what it did it, but over in the drain there were little pieces of plastic. So a couple things. I know in the past when our sink that it drains into is filled up, and is filled up above the drain tube, that it can no longer drain, and then it always goes out of balance. And that's what we were hearing this time, was every time it'd get to the rinse it'd stop working, beep beep beep, like it was out of balance. It wasn't out of balance, it just, I think it couldn't drain. Could be the pump, the water pump. Could be a diverter valve in front of that, or it could be the motor controller. I've seen that by reading things and taking a look. So what I'm going to do is see where we get it. First thing I'm going to do is, I know there's supposed to be a little manual inside the control panel here, so we're going to open that up. And I'm by myself, so you have to be patient with me. First thing I'm going to do is, I've taken this off before, I know it's easier to take the lid off first. And I just raise this up vertical and pop it up. And off it comes. Next thing I'm going to do is, there's two screws in the back of the control panel that we got to take off. You can see one of them back here, the other one's on the other side. So I'm going to take those off here in a second, and I'll come back when I lift up the control panel. Okay, the screws are out of the back of the control panel. And I'll lift it up, move it out of my way, and now we can see the inside. Got a real quick look here. Oh, and in case you're interested, we'll look on the back here and see that this is a GWL11 Fisher Paykel washer. And we look over here to the left, over by the water intake solenoids, and we see a little packet, little manual inside there. So I'm going to take a look inside that, see what it tells me to do. This is a little manual here, and I kind of know what I'm looking for. I'm going to come back here, and I've read that there are some diagnostic modes that I can take a look at in here. And I can also look, I'm looking at the out of balance switch, and that seemed to be okay. Talks about the diverter valve and some faults. I'm just getting the beeps. So I'm going to go to this diagnostic mode and see if that tells me anything, confirms anything, does anything else. Let me put the control panel back up, and yes, I have not unplugged the machine yet. I know. Put the control panel back on, and let's see what the diagnostic says. To go into diagnostic mode, press the water temperature down button and press the power button. And we'll assume we're in diagnostic mode. So first thing I'm going to do is test the out of balance switch. And I just need to press the spin speed up or down. Do I get the medium speed light on? And then I can activate the out of balance lever that's underneath and, oops, sorry, and see if I get the LED, which is the next to last wash cycle. So let's go to the spin speed. I'm having trouble with focus here. It's kind of dark down here. Go out here where you can see it. Go to the medium, and now the out of balance switch is down inside the machine. You may be able to just make it out. It's in the back right hand corner. It's just a vertical piece of plastic. You can reach in and trigger. And if we look up at the control panel, we can see the LED coming on, and that's the proper one for that switch, so everything's okay. Let's move on. Okay, let's do the drain pump test. If I can get the right line. So we're going to get the regular button to turn on the drain pump. And we'll see what happens. I get the feeling we'll see what we saw earlier. So I'm going to press the regular wash mode button. Sure enough, I hear drain. What it usually sounds like when it's draining, again, I can see the tube here pushing water through, recirculating it. That's not draining. And the drain again is trickling water out. Not too much there, huh? Okay, let's stop that. We know that's not working. That's our problem. Okay, now we're going to go to the default fault codes, detailed fault codes. We're going to press the spin speed up or down until we get the hold and slow LEDs lit. So let's do that. Both are lit. Sorry, it's kind of fuzzy, but I'm not going to worry about that now. Now we get to look at the LEDs lit up here. So we can see third and fourth wash cycles and the first rinse cycle. Let's see if we can find that in the paper. Here we go. Diverter valve fault. You can see here we've got third and fourth and the first rinse cycle. So it says check that the diverter valve is diverting the water flow to the correct hose. Failure in the diverter valve can be due to blockage in the valve, a wiring fault, or fault in the motor controller module. Check that there are no leaks in any of the hoses. Also check the resistance of diverter valve. So it looks like that's what we got to look into now. Now again, I talked about I had plastic breaking off of here. You can see it here. And there are big chunks coming off of here. I don't know how a comforter could do that. Maybe I'll show you that faulty comforter later. And I'm not too unhappy about it because it finally gives me reason to get rid of it because I never could stand the thing. My wife will tell you all about that. But we were getting little pieces of plastic in little bits. I'll show you in our sink. And my one thought was that perhaps the drain was blocked, or perhaps the water pump was damaged by the plastic. You can see here little bits of plastic. Having trouble with focus. So what to do now? Well, I'm going to turn it out of the diagnostic mode just by turning it off. And I'm going to assume that hopefully we'll just have some problem because of the plastic that fell in the machine. I believe some went in the machine. It might have damaged the water pump. It might have damaged the diverter valve. Maybe it's just blocking something up. So I'm going to turn this thing over, and because that's how you get into it. The back is all sealed shut. You just got to turn it over and work from the bottom. So we'll do that next.